Sanderson moving in motion right. They're going to run that way. Hand it to Perry. Burst up the middle. Into the end zone. Touchdown! Michigan wins in overtime!
Coming up on Michigan Replay, the Wolverines make it 2 straight in Big Ten play with a big win over Penn State. We'll have the highlights. We'll also meet a new old guy on the Wolverine staff in linebacker coach and recruiting coordinator Bill Sheridan. And we'll look ahead as we scout the Purdue Boilermakers in another road test for Michigan. All that and more coming up next. Michigan Replay with Lloyd Carr is brought to you in part by The Joy of Pepsi and by Big Boy Restaurants, home of the original Big Boy Double-Decker Hamburger. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Michigan Replay. Well, if you didn't like Saturday's game against Penn State for Michigan, you don't like college football. In overtime, the Wolverines win at 27-24. Congratulations on a seesaw great victory at the Big House.
Well, it was a great football, Jim. Great football game, and you know, you just you appreciate 2 teams that played without many penalties, no turnovers in the game, just a hard-fought game that went right down to the very wire.
And lucky you came up with a win, and ultimately it came to the team that
No,
ran.
I wouldn't say we're lucky.
No.
That's
I
what
didn't mean you
said.
were lucky.
You said
it came down to the end, but it came down to a team that finally was able to run the football ultimately that won it.
Yeah. Well, you're right. I mean.
Well, thanks for giving me a little bit of credit. Let's take a look at the highlights of this one because there are plenty in a seesaw affair. And it started out where Penn State did some interesting things. They changed up quarterbacks and gave you a little different wrinkle.
Well, they flanked Zach Mills out and put Robinson in the backfield and ran a little off-tackle play there. And they caught us off guard a little bit. And Jim had a good call here with Zach Kaufman making a hit on the reverse. And we got him stopped.
This punt turned out to be a big play in the game, a special teams play. They down you right down with your next to your own goal line.
Well, Jim, you talk about a great special teams play. This play led directly to Penn State's first touchdown. They take the lead, something that we certainly didn't want to do, but we have to punt out of our own end zone, and we get a short kick. They do a very good job blocking our guys. We miss a couple of tackles there, and Adam Finley comes up with a tackle. But Penn State goes to an unbalanced formation, and we didn't get our tackle coming inside, which is a audible that has to be done there. And this kid, Larry Johnson's an outstanding football player.
Yeah, and Penn State takes the lead at that point, 7-0. Then defense holds, you get the ball back, and you start to get back in it.
Well, you know, the one thing I really am proud of is our offensive line. John Navarre did not get sacked in this game, Jim, and with tremendous front four. That we have to have a great feeling about our backs and the way our line protected.
And then you start to run the football, and this is key to the game, isn't it?
Well, we had B.J. Askew with a trap, an inside trap, and Chris Perry ran hard the entire day. And as the game went on, we established an ability to run the football.
And this play you said you'd like to have back.
Well, it's 4th and 6, and Jim Bacher had come up with this play. And you know, we were down 7-0. I wanted a touchdown, got a little greedy, and unfortunately it worked out for us.
Okay, well, you didn't get it and you gave him the ball, but the defense stands up. Grant Bowman, a sack here, 1 of 3 on the day.
Jim, Grant Bowman and Sean Lazarus, you know, Norman Hoyer and Shante Orr did not get the play, and we had a lot of guys that really fought their hearts out inside.
Then you put together a drive here to get yourself back even with them in the first half.
Well, one of the things that John did a good job in that first half is dumping the ball first there to Chris Perry, here to B.J. Askew. And that's something against zone teams that you want to be able to do. And it's looking down the field. If primary receivers are covered, we want to be able to dump the ball, and he did a good job of it.
And again, Chris Perry running hard, and the line doing a good job blocking.
But there's some good holes in there, Jim. And I thought as the game went on, we got better. And here, John got a guy unblocked off the corner, gets rid of the ball very quickly, and we got the ball on the 1-yard line, and find a way to tie the game up.
7-7 at the half, and a lot of people going into this game thought that there might be a little more scoring. Did it surprise you the defenses played as stout as they did in this game?
Well, you know, I wasn't sure we were going to be able to stop Penn State because they're an explosive offense, great receivers, and Zach Mills was tremendous. But you know, it was very obvious from the front, and I think, you know, we had a play where Zia Combs got hurt in the first quarter, and I think that really, you know, it impacted probably both teams there because everybody was worried about Zia.
Well, we'll talk about Zia after the game is over, and we'll tell you what his condition is. In the meantime, we'll be back in a minute to talk about the second half. But first, we hear from Ronald Bellamy, one of the stars of the day, talking about the difference is guys making plays.
John Navarre continues to do a great job. Braylon Edwards made plays. Benny, Chris Perry caught a couple balls, and John did a great job spreading the ball out. And today we had to drop these a little bit, but after that, we settled down and made plays.
Now, the Les Stanford Chevrolet locker room report.
Well, we had some good schemes. I'm also getting a lot more reps in passing situations because Norman down. And, you know, I was just able to take care of those opportunities, and the coaches really put me in some great places. I mean, I can't take all the credit for it. And I mean, at the same time, you realize when one person gets a sack, a lot of times because somebody else flushes them to you, the end is doing his job containing them. So that's really 3 sacks for the D-line, not just for me.
That's Grant Bowman after a 3-sack day. What a great performance by him. Here's a guy too small to probably be playing in there, and he goes up against the great offensive line, and he makes 3 sacks.
But Jim, he's one of those kids that we recruited. He was a high school linebacker and a very good football player, runs well, and came here, has been hurt, broke his leg, surgery, had to have the surgery done again. You talk about a blue-collar guy, that kind of guy you love to have on your team. And before we went off there, Ronald Bellamy is another guy that came up big on Saturday.
He sure did. And now we go to the second half highlights. And, you know, we thought his arm was in trouble, Zach Mills, but boy, he threw the ball deep in this second half.
Yes, he did. And he hit the soft spots in the zone when we played man-to-man coverage, which we are here, and he gets behind us. Really the only big play the entire game, I think, against both teams. But this kid, Bryant Johnson, is a top-notch wide receiver, and Mills, after getting him into the red zone, hits a tight end for a touchdown. And
you get maybe the biggest break in the game. They make a mistake, run into the kicker thing. It's a roughing call. You were going to give the ball back. Instead, you keep possession.
Being down 13-7, give them the ball. Instead, we come back and get, we did get a big break there. And we've roughed the kicker twice this year, and you pay a big price when you have those kind of penalties. Here's John moving up in the pocket, hitting Bellamy, and Bellamy made some tough catches and a lot of traffic.
So we move into the fourth quarter. And you're 3rd and 10, and what a great play this is.
Well, John moves outside the pocket there and throws a strike, and Ron has got people around him again, still catches the ball.
And then the fade to Braylon Edwards. He just outfights the guy for the ball.
Well, Jim, we had a size advantage there, and Braylon Edwards is a big guy that can jump, and John put the ball up, and he just took it away from him. He made This Johnson is, you know, 230 pounds and strong and fast, and he had a very good day against us.
And then again, another slant cut gets in front of the corner. That's another first down, and they continue to move.
Well, you know, we're bringing pressure there, and Mills gets rid of the ball before you can get to him, and there he runs the option, a thing that really makes them a very difficult offense to defend.
Johnson there makes the touchdown catch in front of Marlon Jackson. Now they have to go for 2, and they go right back to Johnson.
Well, this is a big play, and they throw the slant route, a 3-step drop, and he just gets inside of Marlon, and now it's 21-14. And Jim, that drive took a lot of time. There's not much time left in this game.
This is your drive to tie it, and this is one where you can't make a mistake, and you don't.
We don't. BJ makes a very good catch there. John off the play action gets him, and we get a first down.
John goes back again, and this is another nice throw. Braylon Edwards.
It's a great throw moving up, and again, getting us down inside the 40-yard line.
John moves outside the pocket again, and this is a great catch.
Well, that's one of the best catches Braylon's made in his career at Michigan. The ball was thrown a little bit behind him. He turned all the way around and made the catch.
And this is the touchdown, and John goes to his third receiver and gets it into Edwards for the score. The extra point, you tie it up at 21.
Well, I don't know how John found him in the middle of all that thing, but he threaded the needle, and Braylon, you were telling me you saw that play from the sideline, and Braylon was kind of running a lackadaisical route until he realized that he might throw it to him.
And this is the part of the show I want you to know that everybody's going to love, because you're going to call me dumb.
No, I'm not.
Yes, you are.
Why?
You, with 33 seconds left, decided to sit on the ball and not try to get some.
Oh, my God. What good coach in his right mind? You know, I had that question at the press conference after the game. That was never considered.
That was all I wanted to ask you. We elicited
Lord.
the information that we needed.
Well, I'm dumb, Jim, but I'm not that dumb.
You, never mind. We're going to go on to the overtime. They get the ball first, and you guys, they make some plays, but you stiffen at the goal line.
Hey, they had a great call here. This is a great call, a shovel pass against good coverage. But we got a break here because the first down is at the 9, so it's first and goal from the 9, and second down to get a couple. Third down, we had the ball in our hands, and on dropped it, and on third down, how Marlon got the ball out of his hands, because Johnson had the ball and Marlon got it away from him.
And they kick a field goal. Now, they missed one, but you were offside.
But we lined up offside.
I know.
Oh, my God.
So they're up 3. Now
you talk about a roller coaster.
Yeah.
That was it.
Now you get your chance.
Well, on first down, we get an incompletion, but Braylon Edwards made a great play here, Jim. He took a 5-yard gain and made it into 4 yards. We get a first down, and now we're at the 6, first and goal.
And you are pounding the ball, and this is what I liked about this drive. You made no mistakes to win it.
If you see this play, Pape and Petrozello get underneath Kennedy, and I'll tell you, that is a great run on the goal line play by Chris Perry, because he was running, he was smelling pay dirt, as they say.
27-24 the final. Congratulations. Great victory.
Yes, it was a great victory.
Okay. Jim. 2 things I want to talk about. The injury to Zia Combs. When I was walking through the parking lot on Saturday, everybody wanted to know, and I want you to give us an update on that if you can.
Well, I visited with him in the hospital Saturday evening, and he's doing very well. He was sitting up, and he's got a brace on his neck, but the x-rays are negative, and they think he's going to have a full recovery.
Oh, that's great.
Wonderful kid, and it's a scary thing.
Tell me, you walked in the hospital room and he was crying and you were worried, and he said?
Well, yeah, I asked him, I said, Zia, what's wrong? I said, can I do something? And he said, Coach, these are tears of joy.
Isn't that wonderful?
I mean, it was a precious moment.
And real quickly, Lawrence Reed also had an injury with blood clots. Weird thing.
Yeah, he came in last Sunday, and thank God our doctors got him over to the hospital for some tests. They found a blood clot, so he's on blood thinner, but he's going to miss the rest of the season. And, Jim, we're going to miss Lawrence Reed, because he played a lot of special teams and played a lot at linebacker.
All right. Michigan wins in overtime. When we come back, we'll take a look at a new old guy on the Michigan staff. But first, we hear from Dave Pearson, and he loved how Michigan got it done late.
You know, we had to open some things up with the pass, and John did a great job finding some receivers. And, you know, we didn't have a whole lot of success early running, but at the end of the game, we were just kind of pounding it down there, and that's fun. That's when it's fun.
When you look at Bill Sheridan, Michigan's new linebackers coach and recruiting coordinator, you say there's no way he's been coaching for 21 years. He doesn't look old enough. But you're wrong. A native Detroiter, Sheridan started in high school at Royal Oak Shrine. In college, he worked at Maine, Cincinnati, Army, even Michigan State and Notre Dame. So how did he get to Michigan? Simple. He did his graduate assistant work here when Schembechler, Carr, and Moeller were running things. And he never forgot how special that was.
And I kind of consider that my best coaching background. and my starting point in college football. So, right, when all the GAs that have ever been here, when they leave here, they all in the back of their mind are hoping that someday they're going to be fortunate enough to be brought back on the staff here. So my wife and I are both from Detroit. This is absolutely like coming home for us, and right, of all the places you ever dream about coming back to have a chance to coach at, this is it. So right, this is a dream come true to come back.
And don't think for a minute Sheridan is back just because it's home. He's here because he can coach. He has the passion, and he loves coaching linebackers.
The thing about it is they're in the middle of both the run and the pass. And everybody has to play both, and you look at defensive line, they're defending the run, but they get to rush the pass. They're in secondary, supports the run and defends the pass, but you have to be good at both at the linebacker position. So it's a great challenge every single week. You can't just be downhill every play trying to flathead the run or getting back in coverage. You have to do it all, and you have to be able to blitz, and so it's a very multiple position, and that's the fun part about coaching it.
Sheridan brings the same passion to the job of recruiting coordinator. While he'll miss having specific regions of the country to recruit and meeting prospects one-on-one, he also has realized as the coordinator, he's got an even bigger job.
I came to appreciate the fact that it in and of itself would be a great experience for me to not just have a single area be responsible for, but be responsible to coordinate an entire staff's recruiting. So I know it is such a critical job that I take it very seriously, and I try to do a very good job of it.
He's quite a guy, isn't he? He's been around quite a bit.
Hey,
but
great football coach, great person, a guy that the players love, and he's just one of those guys that's so professional. He's got a great future in college football.
Yeah, good guy. He's an old family friend of ours, too. His dad and my dad both know each other real well. When we come back, we'll take a look at the Purdue Boilermakers. They're next on the Wolverine schedule. But first, we hear from Chris Perry, who says it was the run game that finally made the difference.
You got to keep on pounding it. One of them was going to break for a touchdown. The running game did, it did okay. We had our time. Sometimes they stopped us, but that's how it's going to be. This is big time football. This is Penn State. You're just not going to run all over. And as long as we keep on playing hard and make plays, we're going to win.
Stanford Chevrolet locker room report.
They do a lot of different things. They like to spread the offense out and pass and run a couple draws and zones on you. So we got to go, study their film, and get ready to go.
The Wolverines head on the road for their next game after an overtime thriller over Penn State. You go to Purdue, play at West Lafayette. Always a tough place to play.
Jim, it's a very difficult place, and the last two times we've been down there, we haven't done a very good job. So, and this Purdue team is playing outstanding defense. And offensively, they have an ability to score points.
Right, and the other thing is that their game with Illinois, they lost that in overtime on Saturday, but they're making some changes from a personnel standpoint, so you're going to have to prepare for a lot of different guys. Kyle Orton was their starting quarterback. He got pulled on Saturday, and Standiford is a wonderful wide receiver.
Well, they have wonderful wide receivers, and Standiford is a guy's back for his second year as a starter. I think he played some as a true freshman, a guy that seems like he's been around forever.
And Joey Harris has kind of replaced Montrell Lowe as a running back, but you might see both.
Well, Lowe's an excellent back, and certainly Harris had a big day against Illinois.
And Taylor Stubblefield, another wide receiver, they're going to throw it around on you.
He's been out with an injury, and he's back, and he is an outstanding receiver. Jim, there's as many outstanding receivers in the Big Ten as any conference in the country.
And you really like this freshman quarterback.
Well, he came in when Orton got hurt against Iowa and brought him back, gave him a chance. They took the lead, and this kid was extremely impressive. Guy that's got very good athletic ability.
Sean Phillips, their defensive end, leads the team in quarterback sacks. Nico Kudavides is their middle linebacker. So defensively, you like that.
Well, Jim, Brock Spack has done a tremendous job there defensively, and they've played excellent defense at Purdue since Joe Tiller's been there.
And the one thing that Tiller gets the reputation for is being a guy that throws the ball all over the yard, and yet you're telling me that defensively is where they've improved the most, maybe.
Well, I think they have, and I think the standpoint that Joe, even running that offense, they've been a relatively low turnover team. because they're going to take what you give them. They're very patient. They can run the football. If they get you spread out, it's a good offense.
And that's the key. I've always said that, you know, even though Purdue throws it around and have these pretty gaudy statistics, it's if they run the ball on you and get yardage there, that's what ultimately hurts you.
Well, and that's when they're really good. And Montrell Lowe's been an outstanding back at Purdue, and now Harris. So they've got people that can run the football.
From your standpoint, coming off a huge victory in overtime, what do you feel like going into that game?
Well, I think we have to understand Purdue has lost 3 heartbreaking games. They lost to Iowa. They lost to Wake Forest in a very difficult game, and then, of course, Illinois in overtime. It's an excellent football team, and I think if you just look around the Big Ten, you see it's a battle every week. You know you have to be ready.
There's no
and
easy.
When you go on the road, it's always a challenge.
It's like there's no easy game.
There are no easy games on our schedule.
Wisconsin might have thought their game against Indiana was going to be easy, and it turned out Indiana beats them.
Well, I guess that's where we are. I mean, it's a conference. You talk about parity, no one wants to hear about it, but that's where we are.
Well, good luck next week.
Thanks,
You'll be
Jim.
here?
You're going to be there, aren't you?
That's right. Don't call me dumb next week.
Did I call you dumb?
You were thinking about it.
I was just kidding if I did.
Make sure you're back here next week. Join both of us. We'll be here to talk about Michigan and Purdue right here on Michigan Replay. Michigan Replay has been brought to you in part by Absol Pure Water, delivering quality bottled water since 1908, and by Nike,